Hello, thanks for joining the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, Communications Minister disagrees with Oshiomhole over call for INEC chairman's resignation. Oshoba begs APC members to elect Amosun, urges them to leave vengeance for God. And later on the show, Kwankwaso threatens Kano governor over disruption of PDP posters. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Olayinka Oyegbili. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us again. Accusations and counter-accusations that have greeted the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to shift the dates of the general election continues. On Monday, the governing All Progressive Congress, that's APC, held a caucus meeting to address the issue. At that meeting, the APC National Chairman, Adams Ali Oshiomhole, called for the resignation of INEC Chairman, that is Professor Mahmood Yakubu, for the lapses that led to the postponement. But the Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, disagrees, faulting Oshiomhole for making such call. According to him, Oshiomhole was also guilty of supervising the worst APC primaries ever, yet he did not resign. He also said it will be a big setback for the new chairman to be appointed at this time. Okay, I think Adebayo Shitu, when he picked his governorship nomination form, he submitted it to the leadership of the All Progressive Congress. And in the process of screening, naturally wasn't given the opportunity, he was screened out on the basis that, look, before this thing becomes a big problem, that you have a case to answer, your NYC, you did not serve, so he was screened out. So, I don't know, I think he went to courts after that time. He's still in courts. So, for Oshiomhole to be calling for the resignation of Professor Mahmood, Adebayo Shitu is feeling that, look, you don't even have, if you want to come to equity, you must come with a clean hand. And they're in the same party. APC, a party of contradiction.
Yes, there are so many things that you see and you tell yourself that APC is a dysfunctional party. Yes, when a party gets big, as the APC has become, you have all kinds of problems because people of different tendencies have come together, seeing the APC as a vehicle to achieve their aims of taking political power. But you see that they are all not pulling in the same direction. There are elements from the CPC who do not like the elements from the ACN, you know, and there are elements from the so-called NPDP. That is the group that Bukola Saraki came from. Those ones too have always complained that some of the best positions were reserved for the people who had been close to the president for years. Whether this is completely true is a matter that Nigerians can deal with. But the truth is, Yorubas will say, Ijalode Tonidowe. When people quarrel, even if they are excellent friends, when they quarrel, at that point they begin to see lapses that naturally they will have overlooked if it wasn't for the fact that they had a disagreement. So I'm not surprised that Adebayo Shitu is accusing Oshiomhole of being a pot, calling the kettle black. No doubt about it, APC had all kinds of problems during their primaries. Rancorous primaries, you know, that threatened the foundation of the party. It has taken the hard work of the president, Bola Tinubu, and some of them to try to manage the crisis generated by the primaries. Because of the primaries, we have governors, Okorocha, and Governor Mosun, sponsoring candidates in different parties because they want to show Oshiomhole that they are popular. And you saw the kind of undignified language that Oshiomhole used to describe even some of those governors. Governors who had won election on different platforms. You can't dismiss them as noisemakers, as people, as never-do-wells, as overrated politicians. He used those words liberally, and you tell yourself that what's going on. But you see,
the same party.
Within the same party. And for those people that he insulted publicly, because Oshiomhole enjoys talking, just talking and talking and talking. He can talk for 24 hours even without drinking water. That's Oshiomhole for you. The greatest gift that God gave him is just to talk. So those governors felt insulted, and you had some of them even threatening him. People like Governor Yari. Although it's a good thing now that Yari and Oshiomhole, they are back as friends. In fact, I saw a picture of Yari and Oshiomhole. They took a picture together in Abuja. I said, oh, this is a governor threatening to kill Oshiomhole. But today, they are back as friends. That's politics. So, I also believe that we do not have to remove the INEC chairman at this time, because it will send a terrible signal. Yes, he has let down his nation, but it's not the first to postpone an election. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Jega, who went on to give us a very good election, who went on to excel twice, because in my view he excelled in 2011 and 2015. He had his own problems in the beginning. He stuttered in the beginning. We were already on the queue when we discovered that ballot materials were not even ready across the state, and he had to postpone. So this man too, in the tradition of INEC postponing election, has also had his own fair share of postponing. So let us give him a chance to complete the job that he has started. I don't think, I agree absolutely with the bearded minister that this is not the time to remove the INEC chairman.
A lot of people actually, because of the anger of Saturday and the frustration, they were actually calling INEC all sort of name and calling for the head of the minister. And a lot of people will look at it that it wasn't sensitive, it wasn't sensible in the middle of an exercise like that, just because of the postponement to remove. But there's this agitation that is brewing now, that Professor Mahmoud should be made to account for this, that the ball stops on the table, that it should go even before the election. Does that make sense to you?
There's no doubt that the buck stops at his table. But in actual fact, if you ask him to leave now, you are going to cause more problems than solve the problem that he has created. Allow him to exercise, or give him the benefit of the doubt, let him conduct this election, and after the election has been conducted, then we can ask him questions. But you see, the truth of the matter now is that there is no way it can be right in the eyes of especially the two major parties. Let's look at this scenario. If the PDP wins the election next Saturday now, APC will cry foul that it was because of that he postponed the election. If APC wins the election, the same thing will happen. The PDP will say the same thing. So whichever way we look at it, the man will never be in the good book of whichever party loses the Saturday election. But the truth of the matter is that I think the chairman of APC that was calling for his sack was only showing his grievances, how annoyed he is and things like that. And don't also forget that even at that, some people have read meanings into his anger, that it was all a drama, they knew all these things before. So there is nothing he would have done if he had said the issue will be allowed to continue. The PDP will have issued a statement that, yes, you see, we said so, they planned it. So if they didn't call for the man's removal, the PDP will say they should have removed him. So there's no way, in the kind of politics that we play, there is no side of the divide that the man will not be blamed. Because even Jega that everybody is praising, the world is praising, in the eye of some PDP diehard, he rigged the election in favor of the APC. So there's nothing that we are going to say here, or that anyone is going to say, that they will not think this man is right. And for the minister, what else do you expect from him? I would have been surprised if he had agreed with Oshiomhole.
So you're on the same page with
him? Of course. Until the end of this election, and until perhaps the end of whatever it is that joined them together, he would never agree with Oshiomhole. Even if they win the election, eventually the presidential election, he will still have some complaints to make against Oshiomhole. So, as far as I'm concerned,
it is personal.
They see everything as politics, and it is personal. It is their own business. Our own is just to say the little that we can say. The ones that get to their ears, fine. The ones that they want to abide with, let them abide. The ones that they don't want, we move ahead. That's the way I say it.
Jide, when you look at Adams Oshiomhole talking yesterday, and I was like, what could make a ruling party be taking this kind of tough stance and talking the way Adams Oshiomhole was talking, and the president too did not even help matters when it came up to stock. Do you understand? It's, it was like they were speaking as if they were at the opposition. Yes. They weren't talking like a ruling party. That a party that is in charge of the funding and everything. It was as if something is wrong somewhere, fundamentally.
Yes, and you see, when the election was was postponed in 2011, we didn't see the PDP react in this way. It was postponed by 1 week. Just the same kind of scenario.
Same. I remember I was in Adamawa that day.
We didn't see the PDP react in this manner. And the reaction that we are seeing from the APC is becoming something that is overboard. Yes, Mahmoud let down his country. Ordinarily, elsewhere he should go.
Well, this is Nigeria.
But this is Nigeria, and we also recognize that it is extremely complex at this time for the chairman of INEC to throw in the towel. People didn't, the rate at which the suspicion that some people are viewing INEC with can lead to credibility crisis for INEC. And we need this body. Because you see, when people overdo these things, they do not realize that they can backfire. If you've given people the impression that INEC is such an irresponsible body, that it is compromised, that it's been settled by one of the parties.
As they are insinuating that the Rex, majority of the...
That they are never...
resident electoral commission.
They are a bunch of never-do-wells. Yeah. If you eventually win the election, the other people will say, oh, the same INEC that they told us was irresponsible, did INEC go ahead to do their bidding? So we have to be careful the way we cast INEC. I mean, the tar, the brush with which we tar the INEC. We have to be careful the brush with which we paint them, because it can backfire. It can really backfire. And the whole world is watching. They made mistakes, and we are not the only one. Political parties are behaving as if they are the only ones who have lost who have lost something by this postponement. But individuals too have lost. Observers that have set up observation rooms and employed people and all that. They know you've set them back.
Yes, I know. TMG had like 44,000 observers across the country.
You've set them back. So you are not the only one who have lost money. Yes, we know that you have given politicians, you have given voters money. You've bought their votes ahead of the D-Day. Because that's what the parties have done. They bought the votes ahead of the day. They are not, because we sometimes think that these politicians are done.
How possible?
That,
How possible is that? How can you buy 82 million people?
I'm
How much are you going to give them?
No, you buy where you think that you need to win this election and you know that the contest will be fierce. You must spend money.
Yes.
You must
At
spend
least
money.
some leaders of the
You must spend the money.
groups.
You will give at the level of the apex of the party. Money will be given. The money will cascade down. You need to start attending party meetings. When they share money, sometimes the money could be
It's
as
so
little.
not my line.
You need so that the money could be as little as 20 naira. They will take it with joy.
Yes.
When they share money. For it not to get to them is what is bad. What people call at all, naim bad. It must go round. So when it goes round, you feel that, okay,
Yes, I'm
You
also
have
a
a
stakeholder.
taste.
You're a
Exactly.
stakeholder, and it has reached
Uh-huh.
you. But I'm saying that because of the threats of EFCC, the threat that observers will monitor the election to avoid vote buying and all that, parties have moved ahead to disburse money the day before the election. Because they did the house-to-house campaign now.
That was what
they set
happened
up
the
teams
last
to
one,
do
yeah.
it. So these teams that they set up are going into people's homes and giving people money and extracting commitment from them. You heard what happened in Osun now, where they had to put a gun, then gun for people to jump over it, threatening them that if you take our money, after jumping over this gun, Ogun will kill you. And some people were given concussion to drink.
Yeah.
They didn't do that at polling centers. They did
No.
that before the election. So as we are strategizing, as we are finding a way to stop vote rigging, Nigeria's devious politicians are
They're ahead
working
of
hard.
us, yeah.
They are always a step ahead, to ensure that, look, they don't get caught right there on that day sharing money. It's a risk. You can do it, and some people may not still vote for you.
Yes.
But the risk is worth it. It is. They are convinced that if they spend excellently, that they will reap bountiful gains. This is what is happening. So, but they should not think that they are the only people who have lost.
There are people who have weddings who,
have been postponed. And the following day, the following week, there is another wedding that will take place.
This week.
So you will, yes.
Yes.
No,
Speaks for
This
this.
weekend, this Saturday.
like this. No, I'm saying that
Okay.
you move it ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
You move it. If
From the original
someone is
date.
supposed to do wedding, I know someone in my church who was supposed to do wedding on March 9.
Yes.
Okay.
That will not happen.
Yes,
Printed cards, printed everything.
because governorship
Now-
election.
Which
Yes.
was supposed to have ended on the 2nd. It's not 9.
Now what I'm saying is, for those people, they are going to have to start planning again for choose a different day, because the date that you have in mind may actually have been locked down by another.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
you have
true.
to go and pay for another hall,
Yeah.
pay for so many things. And a lot of people travel down all the way from Australia, from the UK, and all
come
that,
and
to come and do this election.
I wanted to ask you, because
Yes.
the turnout last Saturday, the determination and everything,
Yes.
the way Nigerians, I was told that Lagos on Friday night, that Lagos was locked down because of traffic, people trying to
moving,
make
yes,
one destination or the other.
Yes.
Will that not affect the turnout for this Saturday?
I believe definitely it is going to. And that is exactly why the parties flouted INEC before the INEC even decided
Challenge INEC.
No, some of them have even started campaign because the constitution or the electoral law says 24 hours before the election. So if you have postponed it, people that have been disoriented,
remobilize our people.
Exactly, people that have been disoriented, we have to talk to them. People that have become who perhaps have even made up their mind they are not going to vote. We have to mobilize them. Those who have decided that they were going to vote and you cancelled it few hours to it, we have to mobilize them again. That's exactly what has happened. But be that as it may, I'm not sure I stand to be proved wrong that so many people will still turn out on Saturday as it will have been the first time. Because, you have people, for instance, there are people who are living maybe in Magboro, who registered near their office in Lagos Island and decided to sleep in a hotel and that they will vote the next morning. they will look at it and what is in it for me? Especially if it's someone who is determined that he wants to vote in or vote out a particular party. Now, he has spent money to lodge himself in a hotel, or himself or herself. This week, okay, you can't, you postpone that. This week, he will now look at it and what is in it for me after all? There's nobody that gave me any money to lodge in the hotel. There's nobody. So he will just sit down at home and say, no.
Jide, I think part of our corporate social responsibility is to tell Nigerians what is in it for them. That we have to remobilize them.
Yes.
We should not get tired. They should not get weary.
They shouldn't.
Because the figures are not encouraging. When you look at the 2015, the turnout, the general turnout, to produce a governor in Lagos State out of like a population of 18 million people, the people that participated in the governorship election, less than 1.5 million in all. And a state that is as big as Lagos State. Yes. Even the presidential election, what was the number that produced? So it is important, if we are saying 84 million Nigerians to come and choose their president, Jide, how significant is this?
No, the thing is, we must keep working hard at getting young people to show
interest,
more than a passing interest in the political process.
Over 40% of the
they have the young Nigerian people do not even realize the weapon in their hands.
I'm telling you right now.
You know, so if you want, they must realize that they have that weapon, and that even one of them can even go on to become the president.
Yes, in future.
The same thing with women. Women are a lot easier to mobilize, but because of threats of violence, sometimes they stay away.
Right.
Even during these primaries, there were cases when some irresponsible men were beating up women on the queues because they felt that those women would affect the outcome, or possibly affect the outcome of the primaries. So they wanted to make sure that those women do not get to vote, and they visited violence on them. So the critical mass of our people do not really show interest in this election. Look at what happened in Anambra. The young people, people like Chidoka now, they were banking on the votes of young people.
Yes.
Or the former the former NANS president,
Tony Nwoye,
banking on the votes of young people. But the young people stayed away because a lot of those young people belong to IPOP. They stayed away, enabling the old people, pensioners who get paid their pension regularly, and government workers who collect salary regularly, to outvote them, and ensuring that
Governor Willie
Obiano was re-elected. So if we can get the young people to show greater interest. I'm talking about, people from 18 years to 40. If we can get them to be more interested in politics and not simply be interested in music and generally being apolitical, the number of people voting in our elections will go up. And then parties have a lot to do in terms of enlightenment of people. In the US, there's what is called get out the vote. That get out the vote is extremely crucial. That is where parties spend a lot of money. They hire volunteers. They hire people who go out on election day. They knock on doors, get people to go out. Because you can have large crowd, big crowds at your rallies. But on election day, you have a big job to do. If they don't come out, you don't win.
That's the problem.
So the party that wins is the party that has an effective get out the vote mechanism. In Nigeria, we must work on that too, so to drive up the number of.
And
I think even INEC even discovered that the process of doing this accreditation in the morning and people coming back to come and vote later in the day, that they discovered that over 2 million people in 2015 came out for accreditation. They did not come back to vote because of the cumbersome process. That's why they are doing it simultaneously.
Yes. And I also think
that's what the Kenyans do. So
the parties too must encourage the young ones to also allow them to contest and for position. So that will make it more
not too young to run.
All right, moving on now. It is said that to err is human, but to forgive is divine. This appears to be the driving the action of the former Ogun State Governor Aremo Olusegun Oshoba. in dealing with the internal wrangling within the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the states, Oshoba pleaded with the APC members to put all disagreements behind and vote for Governor Ibikule Amosu in his bid to win the central senatorial seat in Ogun State. He said they should leave vengeance to God. Jide, this, when you look at the history of Oshoba and Amosu, in 2007, Oshoba did not support the candidacy at the initial stage of Ibikule Amosu. And Oshoba wanted...
2015, not 2007.
Is it 2015? Okay.
They were not in the same party in 2007.
Yes.
No, not AMPP. No, as in when Amosu crossed over from AMPP.
2015.
2015. Okay.
2015. That was when Chief Oshoba went to SDP.
Is it the second time? 2011, sorry.
Yeah.
2011, sorry. It is 8 years now. Amosu would be completing his 8 years.
Yes.
It is
No,
2011.
2011, they didn't have any issues. 2011, Amosun came in from
He came in.
From
and they
AMPP.
supported him with the backing of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
Yes.
Oshoba. Oshoba controlled the structures of the party at that time, and it remained like that. So he came in,
It
was
was
elected after his first term. That was when
2015.
things began to change.
Okay.
And you saw people like Adeshegun, Obadara, Obadara, the rest
Gbenga
of them.
Obadara,
Yes. And
Central.
even Oshoba's son
Okay.
decided
Olumide.
to go in different directions.
Yes.
So
Mata
it was
Gbamole.
after the first term
Okay.
that
Yes.
things changed, that Amosu now began to supplant Oshoba's structures
that he made on ground.
to become his own man and all that.
the leader.
So yes, and at the end of the day, Oshoba's candidates in the SDP were trounced
Yes.
by Amosun's
Deputy governor, former
Amosun's
deputy governor.
candidate,
Amosu.
So
Okay.
so that is the thing. It's actually 2015.
Now, what I wanted to ask you is that between the All Progressive Congress, with the president's visits, and it was so obvious that, yes, the incumbent governor is rooting for Akinlade, and Oshoba is firmly with
Abiodun.
Dapo Abiodun. And in their senatorial districts, that is the central senatorial district now, which Amosu is gunning for, Oshoba is asking people to support Ibukule Amosu.
Yeah, Oshoba is an old, wily politician. He knows what he's doing. If Amosun loses the election, they are going to say, oh, it's Oshoba, Tinubu, and other people who instructed the people to vote against his candidature. And of course, the APC, if it eventually forms the government, you need as many federal lawmakers on your side as possible. In a race that is likely to be close, as many federal lawmakers that you can win, you must try your best to win. So we can actually say, oh, these guys offended us. His people stoned the president. He supervised the destruction of Dapo Abiodun's posters. But the feeling between Dapo Abiodun supporters and Amosun supporters, the bad blood is mutual. So many of them will just listen to Baba Oshoba and say, Akinrogun, really so now. That's what many of them will say. Because the question is, if you are begging for Amosun to be supported by APC. Supporters, is Amosun also telling APM supporters to support Dapo Abiodun? So is it okay for Amosun to undermine Dapo Abiodun while the APC supporters will now go and give him all their support?
Yeah.
It will not work, because politics in Nigeria, people find it difficult to forgive one another. You will even see people, they shake hands, they laugh, they even hug, they kiss. You see them, they kiss or here and there. It's a lie. The bad blood inside of them
It's still there.
remains. So Baba has advised, Akinrogun has advised people, But he knows in his heart of heart that they are not likely to take the advice, you know. So, yes, APC is the party. Everyone, what you want to see is people voting for the candidates of the party across board. That is the ideal. But in this sort of this situation, it's utopia, because they will say, "Oh, this is an enemy in the gap of a friend. So why should we vote for an enemy?"
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please don't go away. Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Television Continental. And what we're looking at is the intra-party crisis. We like call it intra-party. Yes, it's intra-party because Oshoba is actually a chieftain of the APC, and the governor is still in APC, despite the fact that he's rooting for his candidate. That's Mr. Akinlade from Inga. Big contradiction within the APC. In Imo, in Ogun State.
You see, first of all, let me first of all deal with that of Ogun State. It is not a case of vengeance. It is a case of the same measure which you serve me with, I should serve you with. The Bible allows that. I respect Chief Osoba very well. I mean, he is one of the most brilliant journalists that Nigeria has ever had. He was, I think, the first or one of the first Nigerian journalists who won the prestigious Neyman Fellowship. And take it or leave it, he is an elder in our profession, and we must bow to him and respect him.
He calls himself a reporter till tomorrow.
Now, there is no democracy in the newsroom. The editor's word is the final. But thank God, he's no longer in the newsroom. So we can look up and say, "Oh God, it shouldn't go that way." I'm laying the foundation for what I'm going to bring out. What I've seen there is that Baba Oshoba is playing the role of an elder and an Omaluabi, and he's a Julo that, look, I know this business more than you do. That's why what he has done to say that the supporters should forgive and leave vengeance to God. We should leave God out of this business. It is not God's business. It is man's business. What Governor Amosun has done is unheard of. It is not acceptable. And we must say it the way it is. As a journalist, as a non-partisan reporter, we must, at their party level, they can preach that and all that. But if the supporters or the APC members who are supporters of the governorship candidate now vote for Governor Amosun as a Senate, as a member of the National Assembly, the supporters of the governor, his own governorship candidate, are they going to vote for that Abiodun as governor? Or what are we saying? No, as far as this thing is concerned, I will personally be totally disappointed if Governor Amosun is rewarded for his disloyalty to the party by his winning a Senate seat. It shouldn't be at all. Because we all are living witnesses. Let me give, there was an example somebody gave the other day. In 1979, during the political era then, Baba Olowo supported Olawoyin, who had come with him from AG, Action Group.
SK.
To be, SK Olawoyin, to be the governor of Kwara State.
JS Olawoyin.
JS, yes.
Josiah Sunday Olawoyin.
Exactly. Okay. But they contested that seat 3 times. And Adebayo won. Prevailed. So at a party meeting, or I think I've forgotten now whether at a party meeting or at a rally, as Awo was coming in, JS was following and Chief Adebayo too was following. The supporters started shouting, Olawoyin Lanfe, Olawoyin Lanfe, Olawoyin Lanfe. And after they sat down, he said, Chief Awolowo asked Chief Olawonyi that, look, what else do you want me to do for you? This contest has been held 3 times, you have lost. Do you want me to remove the man that is popular and they ask you to contest? The party have said no, and I have to go with the party. Lo and behold, Baba Olawonyi, God bless his soul, he's dead now too. He went home and told his supporters that the contest is over. Let us support this man. Adebayo eventually won and became the party, the governor of the state. So now,
1983.
as a party, the party, whether right or wrong, the party has said,
The true party man.
exactly, as a true party man, you can't win all every time. You give up and say, okay, well, as a good party man, I will allow it to go, but it is still an injustice to me. You fight it within the party. Not
Even
for
if
you.
you don't have a right to go to court.
Exactly. Not for you to now come out. I mean, see the show of shame that happened in Ogun State the other day.
They beat up
Abiodun
supporters.
They beat up Abiodun supporters, drove them away from the stadium, and then you claim on the stage, don't disgrace me, our father is here.
So are the same people who are beaten with 2x2?
Exactly.
What,
you know what
carpenters call 2x2. You know? The same people who are beaten with 2x2 that they use for logging when they are doing roof.
You know what? That's strong still.
Very strong. So is that you should know one wrestler called Axel Jim Duggan.
Jim Duggan.
He was always taking the 2x2.
Okay, I remember.
Axel Jim Duggan.
Axel, yeah.
I don't know, maybe he's dead now. You know, when you are beaten with that 2x2, you are likely to end up in hospital. So people who are beaten, even women, they took to their heels.
So
the same people who are beaten,
such a man?
how do those two people beaten up like that then come to vote for this man? Another thing is, when you look at Ogun politics, a lot of the people supporting that Abiodun today used to support Olamilekan Yayi.
Yeah.
Because Olamilekan Yayi collapsed his structures into...
And gave it to...
So, and you know he had worked very hard there. But when the heat became unbearable for him, Asiwaju, the top dog of Nigerian politics, called him and said, okay, come and contest in Lagos. You know? And that was what happened. So the structures that he had built over the years in Ogun State, that Abiodun inherited, there is deep animosity for Amosun on the part of supporters of Olamilekan Yayi, because twice he frustrated his efforts to become governor in that state. Do you honestly expect die-hard loyalists of Olamilekan Yayi, who are now supporters of Abiodun, to go and vote for the man with cap like the telco mast? It's not likely to work. It won't happen.
Moving on now, we go from Ogun State now to Kano State. The story of Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and his predecessor in office, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, is that of allies turned foes. There has been no love lost between the two politicians since they parted ways politically. The two gladiators have continued to struggle for the control of politics in the northwest states. The rivalry is breeding pockets of violence in the states in form of destruction of posters and burning of houses. Kwankwaso is furious about alleged destruction of posters of PDP candidates by the APC supporters and has threatened to apprehend Governor Ganduje. How is that possible? But let me give you a piece of what is happening in Kano State.
yaran nan kullun danna musu kwaya suke yanzu kana labarin sun zo sun zagaye da har da kofar gidan suka zo suka farfasa mini alamomi na atiku da sauransu da muka daura a cikin falwaya suka zo suka farfasa mana sa'a suka yi bana nan inda nan sai mun ga yanda muka dandanna musu dalma a cikin su ba yadda za ka zo kofar gida kai min iskanci, ka zo kofar gida na dan kai ka sha kwaya, ka zo ka ce za ka yi an baka wani da kai da abin nan. Da su da iyayen gidan nasu da mun ci mutuncinsu. Sa'a suka yi ma yanzu wannan abubuwan da suka fito da shi mun yi katanga mai kyau. In ya dame mu har cikinsa za mu je mu kamo shi kansa gwamna. Ina gaya maka wannan. Ba wani zai kawo mana rashin mutunci a Kano. Mu kyale shi. Wannan jihar tamu ce. Ko da na zauna Abuja shekara 3 da rabi, zaɓi na ne ba zaɓinsu ba. Saboda haka in wannan iskanci suke nema a wannan harkar siyasar, azumin suke gidan gilashi, mun gaya musu kar ku tsokana. Amma fosta ɗaya da aka taɓa mana ko bana ko wani abu, to ai sauka ne.
Za a mai da raddi.
Kwarai da gaske, ɗaya bakin 100.
Da yawun Dr. Rabi Musa kuma.
Kwarai da gaske, ai ba za mu kyale su ba. Ai ba su da mutuncin da za ka yi su yi maka laifi ka kyale su. Suna sani suke yi. Kana jin maganganun su ko da tsiya ko da tsiya. Mu a kwankwasi ana mana maganar tsiya ne? Chapter ce guda.
To amma ana ganin kamar waɗanda.
That's the inter-party crisis in Kano State. Kano is going to be a very, very big area of, how will I call it?
A flashpoint.
Flashpoint during the governorship election. I have Dr. Salih Ibrahim on the line. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. What is brewing in Kano State? Can you please shed light to this crisis?
My own understanding is that what we are seeing is not new in Nigerian politics. Generally, people must struggle to take power. And in this country, power means a lot because resources and all other security things come along with it. So my belief is that people get more vicious as time goes on. But my belief is that against the background of the practical things we've seen in Borno, Yobe, and all the Northeast, what we have seen also around Niger Delta, what we are seeing in Zamfara is enough a lesson for any rational person to be dispassionate and stop fanning embers of crisis all over the place. What we are seeing is that people are blinded and they are trying to plunge this country into a veritable crisis. The money this country spends on managing security generally is enormous. So any rational person should join the bandwagon of those who objectively will oppose those who are trying to breed hatred, to breed violence, and to breed mass killings generally.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Generally, Kano States, now with the rally that the People's Democratic Party actually had, and everybody wearing red cap, that sent a big signal. Before now, I thought Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso had taken the back seats in the People's Democratic Party, that it wasn't so much interested in what was happening, and with losing his presidential ticket within the PDP. But that rally of the People's Democratic Party actually sent a signal that I will dictate and I control what is happening in Kano State. And a lot of people are saying that the re-election of Abdullahi Ganduje might be threatened from what is happening right now.
Well, in politics, anything can change in an instant. But I'm concerned about what Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso said. I think that's what should actually bother us. Because
So
he said,
ask them to go and pick a governor.
he said that if the governor
Yes, out of hand.
continues to harass him or harass their party members, that he will send people to go and apprehend the governor and bring him. So, and I'm asking myself, how will they go? A sitting governor, you send your supporters to go and pluck him out of government house?
Or maybe
And
on
if
the
you,
campaign
and
trail.
you see, the thing is, these rhetorics that are actually breeding violence. Violence has become almost a daily affair in Kano now. and it's between these two parties.
The Kwankwasia movement.
Yes,
And Ganduje.
because politicians continue to feed young people with drugs.
Yes.
And when these people, when they ingest these drugs, honestly, they continue to kill innocent people. You can imagine if you were driving, these are Kwankwasia supporters attacking any vehicle
on sites.
Yes, with
APC
APC logo. Now, we've seen pictures of Kwankwasia's building destroyed, set ablaze by suspected APC supporters. So the violence is mutual. The Kano governor was supposed to do a rally in Kano Municipal, Dala, and I think Gwale, you know, in the state capital. They couldn't do the rally because of threats of violence. The governor had to back out. So that should tell you the extent to which this violence has reached. And even now as we speak, it has not stopped. So many innocent people get killed. If they are doing any rally, they will be attacking innocent people, bystanders, people who are just going on their own.
Okay,
So
our
it's
friend is joining us. Sule White Sule is joining us. Sule, what is happening in Kano State?
Well, thank you very much. But I think there is a little correction over there.
Okay.
The video clip you are showing is a vehicle belonging to APC. You see, this Togri issue is quite is something that has been there in Kano for a long time. And honestly speaking, if you want to be honest with yourself, this Togri issue is more associated with the Konkotia movement. Because even the recent one was ignited the day Atiku came to Kano.
Yes.
So many people's phones were snatched away. So many cars were smashed. In fact, the revenge he is talking about, it is the Konkosia people that went about, because you know APC is the sitting government in Kano, so they have more posters, more banners across the state, across the town. So they went and destroyed all billboards. It is in revenge to that the APC people also went after their billboards. But that vehicle you are seeing, the one showing on your screen, is an APC car being smashed by the Konkosia people. So, honestly speaking, it is the comments of the leaders that normally pushed this youth into violence.
Julie, thank you, Sule. I don't want to believe, Aminka, I don't want to believe that is only one part of, that has the monopoly of violence.
No.
Anywhere you have youths and you have control of youth and politicians can control talks, be you PDP, APC, there's always this propensity for violence.
No, you see, what we have seen, what our friend Sule wanted to correct, we didn't say anything outside of what he said. The thing is mutual. The APC is fighting PDP, PDP is fighting APC. We saw that one live, current, because that's what happened that we've seen. But we also saw that the Kwankwasia building was set ablaze.
Yes.
So what we are saying is that all of them, they must try to encourage their followers to know what is right. Because in the final analysis, neither the son or the daughter of Ganduje or Kwankwaso are among those
So it's
crowds.
always good to talk to parents.
Exactly.
The parents, that you allow your children.
Their own children are either in London or even if they are there in Kano, they are in Guamaja or in some highbrow area.
Protected
but
area.
they allow all these boys to be used as cannon foders. So people must be able to learn. And education, if we emphasize education, it will go a long way. I mean, it's not as if we don't have such in other parts of the country, but you know that the level of violence in other parts of the country cannot be as massive as it will be there, because people at least have some level of education. They know their left from their right. It will be hard for anybody now to call me out to say I should go and protest on behalf of someone. I mean, I know what I want. I know what is right. So what we are saying in essence is that the people there must invest massively in education for their children. And they must take it, the politicians themselves must make sure, in fact, if every other part of the country is spending 20% of their budget on education, they should be spending 70% and make sure that they educate their people.
Quickly.
Because in the first instance, all these things, what is happening is because of lack of education.
So, is it possible? Can this be resolved? This crisis between Kwakwanso and Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. Long-time strong ally.
Yes, they are long-term friends. They've always worked together. And it's shameful that this is happening. The two camps must talk to one another. They must agree to embrace peace so that these young people, at least their lives can be saved. I'm happy that the new commissioner of police in that state, Mohammed Wakil, who used to be in Katsina, is a no-nonsense man. Dogo, since he took over, has been disarming a lot of these guys and has been arresting all these drug addicts. So I know it's troubling for them in Kano because it's like the commissioner of information, Mohammed Garuba, has been trying to reach us. It will be fine if we can hear from him to see what the state governor intends to do just before we close. So if we can get to Mohammed Garuba, let him tell us what they are doing, because this is really giving the state a bad name.
Yes, because the bottom line is that we've identified Kano now. It's going to be a flashpoint.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely for the governorship election and everything. But definitely, it's not going to go well. Either way it goes. Anything that has to do with violence.
That's just what we have been saying. They must look for a way to let these children, because as you can see, most of these are small boys. They are just a chain who don't know their left from their right. So education is the word. Education, and education.
Closing now, Jide, how do you send people to go and pick a governor, a sitting governor, with all those SSS, with all those police? You mean that?
It's the biggest joke of the year. And I think that Kwankwaso needs to tone down his level of recklessness. You know, sometimes when he talks, you just ask yourself, what is the problem with this man? So he has to, you cannot say, you have been governor twice, and nobody tried to go and pick you up from your government house. So how can you be saying this, that that if the governor is not careful, you will go and pick him up? You know, so it's
people will die.
no, I don't even see that happening.
And you know the worst thing, he said it in Hausa, and a lot of them understand that. So it's a big problem.
Oh, it is. Whatever his grievances are,
we have to.
You cannot say that you want to go and pick a governor. A governor shouldn't be that cheap to pick. Otherwise, there's no security in our country.
I'm telling you.
That's what it means.
I want to thank you, Olayinka Oyegbile,
Thank you
for being part of the show, and the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And you can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. Catch us on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.